So in my last video I talked about Raccoon, and in this video I want to talk about Burter and how he's probably going to be a very good character in Sparking Zero. In BT3 he was actually top tier, and in BT3 they didn't even have like the DP system that they used in their competitive scene. They kind of ignored it, so even just ignoring the DP system, Burter was quite good, and this is primarily because he's such a fast character. So I just kind of wanted to let some gameplay sort of run and just to kind of show you how fast he is. So the big thing with Burter is because his attacks are so fast, you get a lot of timing mix-ups with Burter. So you can delay your rush attacks a lot to throw off your opponents, like vanish timings and their super counter timings. Was priorly called Z counter, but super counter in Sparking Zero. So because his attacks are just so fast and his frame data is so fast, there's a lot of situations where you simply slowing down, like in any of these hits, you can purposely delay your timing between these square hits, and it will attack just slightly slower and just slightly off rhythm, and that makes it harder to vanish if you were to do a rush technique. That makes it harder to super counter if you were doing those rush attacks. So because his frame data is just so fast and he's able to swing so fast, there's a lot of situations where you can delay an attack and you can catch the opponent trying to like counter attack you. And if they don't, they're still in the block string. You're still kind of having a lot of these timing mix-ups. They're still trying to play a lot of defense. So the good thing about Burter is mostly his strength, mostly his speed, sorry. You get a lot of these fast moves, the delayed rush attacks, like I said, the preventing like counter hits. But because his moves are so fast and you can delay them, his ground slash mix-up is normally a lot better than other characters' ground slash mix-up. And that's the move that kind of like trips them and puts them in the air. So normally you'll see a lot more of that with Burter. And also with his step and attack being flying kick. At any time in a combo, as long as they can't vanish flying kick now, you are able to just flying kick after a step and attack and apply a lot more pressure. They can still block it, but the mix-up between flying kick, ground slash, and your other rush techniques is quite big with Burter. There's a big change with Burter actually in Sparking Zero, and he actually has all of the rush techniques now, where in Sparking Zero he just had heavy finish and all of his other rush chains were flying kick. So this is potentially a good thing, potentially a bad thing, because he has rolling hammer now. So you do have to be wary of getting turned around by Burter now, and his flying kicks will be a lot more devastating when you are turned around. But because he has all of these rush techniques, he now has less flying kicks to mix in. But he does still have flying kick as his step and attack, wherever it was shown here in the clip. So his step and attack is still flying kick. People think step and attack is mostly just doing like the rush combo, so that's square, 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 4 squares, you dash in with X, and then you hit square again. But you can actually use triangle for step and attacks, and for Burter it's a flying kick. And this is how it worked in BT3 already, but there's some talk and some discussion about how a lot more rush techniques that used to previously be vanishable or non-vanishable in Budokai Tenkaichi 3 are now vanishable in Sparking Zero. So things like Ki Cannon, Blaster Wave, and even Rush Ki Wave are now theorized to be vanishable now. So if his step and attack is still able to be a flying kick, for whatever reason, the theories are that flying kick is not vanishable because it's like the multi-hit move. I'm really hoping that's not the case, because that kind of ruins safe combos and it kind of ruins some of the combo game in Sparking Zero, but we'll end up seeing when we get there. But so for Burter's abilities, on top of his speed, this is kind of weird because it's going to be BT3 gameplay, but on top of how fast he is and how you get all these timing mix-ups, he also has Afterimage. So if you see here, they had 2 skill counts in BT3. They used it, and this is an Afterimage that he used. So Chiaotzu vanishes an attack, goes to counter attack, and he instantly dodges automatically. So Afterimage is going to be a very important tool in Sparking Zero, just like it was in BT3. And Burter also has Afterimage, so on top of being a speed character, he will also have a decent time dodging with Afterimage. His other ability is a max power mode, similar to Raccoon. He does like a fighting pose, and then he instantly goes into Sparking mode. Sparking mode will probably be a little better on Burter than it will Raccoon, because Space Mach Attack is a rush super, so that means it like rushes at the enemy like a melee super. This is important because in BT3 you were actually able to combo off of his rush super, but that probably won't be as likely in Sparking Zero. But because his rush super only costs 3, there's been a lot of gameplay, as you've seen in like my prior video, where once you go into Sparking mode, you can actually use a super and then you can use your ultimate. So potentially you can kind of cheese someone, hit like either his full power energy ball or his rush super, and then still get your ultimate attack off. Or even possibly one of the things I'm going to test right away when I get Sparking Zero is how many times you can actually use like a rush super or a super ability if you're in Sparking mode, because it's only 3 key bars. So theoretically you could use, you know, Space Mach Attack. It'll bring you down to two bars here, and then you can use another Space Mach Attack and you would still have 4 key bars, but you wouldn't be in Sparking mode again. So potentially you could use another Space Mach Attack. So I'm not sure, obviously this is all theory right now, but it is possible that you might be able to use multiple like rush supers like that because of the way, for whatever reason, they took this from Raging Blast 2 to put into Sparking Zero. So there was one final thing I wanted to talk about with Burter, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I feel like I've noticed that with Burter's definitely classified as like a speed character in like the class type that they kind of made like their page about. But if you notice when he short dashes, uses a very little amount of ki. I feel like I've seen a lot of other characters, the ki usage on the short dash was a lot higher. So I feel like speed characters also have kind of this reduced ki cost for short dashing potentially. So that's just another strength of Burter on top of everything else that he kind of has going for him. And the fact that he's only a 3 DP cost character means that he will be able to get added on to a lot of teams. He's really fast. He has Afterimage. He has a max power mode or Sparking mode ability. I think he's going to be very strong, just like he was in BT3, also in Sparking Zero. It's hard to exactly say with his rush technique changes how that'll affect Sparking Zero and how good he will actually be, but I would put money on that he would at least be a high tier in Sparking Zero, especially just because of his low DP cost. But that's about it. Take it easy, guys. If you like the content, like and subscribe.